Hello, divine woman. How are you?
I'm good, Lucy. How are you?
I am very good. I've just gotten back from a walk with my baby, so I'm coming to the call. No makeup, looking pretty daggy, but you know what? We've got to keep it real in here sometimes, right?
Yeah, you look beautiful anyway.
Oh, thank you. I'll take it.
Brilliant.
I'll take it. So you're looking absolutely gorgeous, and I know we were trying to get the light to be even better, but you've definitely got a little bit of light above your head, which is actually pretty aligned with this conversation.
Yeah, lighting up like an angel.
Yeah, lighting up like an angel. The lights have come on. Sparkle is back in those beautiful eyes of yours. So, Louisa is from the UK, and if you just want to introduce yourself and all that good stuff, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Louisa. I live in London, the UK. I work in marketing, and yeah, I'm a queen.
You're a queen, and how old are you, queen?
I'm 30. Yes.
30. How young are you, I should really say. 30. Oh my God, the world is at your feet right now. I could break into a crowd house song. At your feet. You know that song?
No,
No.
I'm just bopping along anyway.
It's an Australian band. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
let's dive into it. I'm just so excited about this chat we're about to have because it wasn't that long ago at all. You've been out of Soul to Soul for how long? A couple of weeks?
Like a week and a half or so, maybe a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get to where you are now, but you need to just close your eyes to drop back in, Louisa, to where you were when you got on the first call with my team. I know you didn't speak to me, but really just drop into where your energy was at, how you were feeling about yourself and the world and the future and relationships. And just speak from that place. Really share with us what was coming up for you.
I felt really, really lost and really yeah, like I was being left behind. I felt like all of my biggest dreams were just had already slipped out of my hands at that point. And yeah, just feeling hopeless, feeling useless, like just all of those just really icky feelings. And just yeah.
Totally. And what was the impact of that, like just day to day for you? I mean, how is that showing up in other areas of your life? Just being with
Oh,
yourself, you know?
um I mean, I felt like my life was out of control. I felt like I was just like spiraling into debt. I was just piling on weight. Everything. I felt like everything in all the areas of my life were just getting worse and worse. And like, I felt like my career was going down. I felt like my love life was just horrendous. I felt like, yeah, just all of the areas of my life. Like, I didn't have any money. Like, I felt like it was out of control. That's what it felt like. That it was spiraling down and down and down.
Okay, so there was no light at the end of the tunnel.
No, no.
It was major scarcity, right?
Yeah.
Scarcity and lack. And how did you feel? Because Louisa's one of, she's got a unique case in that we didn't invite her in on, when I ended up speaking with her. The reason I'm sharing that is I'd love for you to share with us, what was it like when you got off the call when we didn't really get that far into the call? I said, hey, come back to me when it's really urgent. Like, what was sitting in you then?
Yeah, so after the first call, I was just feeling kind of like, because on the first call, I didn't really even know what I was doing there. I just felt like that was my intuition, and I was just like, I felt just really confused and just like, what am I doing? And just kind of like, but just feeling like I still wanted to. You were still really welcoming to just be like, just look into this, and we'll welcome you back for a call, but just you're not ready yet, basically. And it was like, work on your urgency, work on what you're really feeling. And
Yeah.
So I tried that. And I dug a little bit deeper, like I understood myself a little bit more, but I still wasn't really, like, as you know, like I still hadn't really opened my heart to you.
Yes.
So
that's the bit, sorry to interrupt, but that's the bit I'd love for you to share with us. I know why, and I know that you know why now, but for other soul sisters watching this, what was it that was scaring you or holding you back from really letting yourself drop into that deeper pain and the truth? What was it?
I think it was just the pain of it. I think it was just like the immensity of it.
Yes.
But I was still being honest with myself about how bad it actually was.
Right.
Yeah, like the depth of it, that's what I wasn't ready to face at that time. And
That's
also, it's like I just buried it. Like it's like I didn't even realise. Like, I mean, I did, but it was buried so deeply in me from last year.
well,
Like,
look, I relate to that because, you know, there's a reason I do this work, and I have been in that place where when we get used to just sucking it up and getting on with it and putting on this positive face and like, yeah, everything's fine, we trick ourselves.
yeah,
And when we continue to do this, months pass, years pass, and before you know it, we've bought into our own illusion that we're fine, when really that numbness just goes deeper and deeper. Mum, would
yeah,
you
yeah.
see what's going on? So my little girl, she's overtired. So, but she's right on cue, because it gets to a point where we wake up, right? And it's like, hang on a minute, this cannot keep going on like this. And for you, there was almost like confusion, thinking, well, I'm coming to have a chat, but like, it's not that bad. And then when I sent you away, when you came back the third time, share with us what happened then, because you were in a completely different energy.
Oh, so yeah, it was the third time. So yeah, after the second time, just for I think this will explain a bit more. You were just like, you're still not opening up to me. You're still not like being honest with me. And blah, blah, blah. I was like, I just felt like I was, but
Yeah.
and I said to you, I don't know how to do this. What do I do? And you were just saying, just come into your heart. Just I can't remember what you said, but you were just like, just take a moment, come into your heart, and just be honest. And ask your like queen what she would do. And then it literally the next morning, so I did that, and then the next morning I just felt like it all came out, and it was just all of the immensity and honesty of it. And the theme that was coming through for me was just that, like I just heard a voice that was just like, you've been looking for your home and you haven't found it. And this was like a really big theme for me, and it made me cry, because I was just like, yes, that's what it is. It's that I've been wandering, I've been lost, I've been looking for a home I haven't found. And how that was manifesting in my life was that I've moved house. Literally, I would have moved house 4 times this year now, and I was living on a boat for most of 2019, where I was physically moving location every 2 weeks, and that's how it was manifesting in my life. Is that I was like just constantly moving, constantly looking for something else, like, because I couldn't find it in me, and I couldn't find it. I didn't believe I could find something nice in real life either. Like, it was that kind of, it was all this theme: the home in me, the home outside me. And
Totally.
sorry, yeah, that's when I found out the truth. I was just like, that's like the core of everything, is that I hadn't found my home in me.
That's just so beautifully articulated, and I'm getting goosebumps major all over my body, because that's what we do. Is we're looking externally, and we're on the run, and we're busy, and we're like searching, and you're literally uprooting your life, just desperately trying to fit in, trying to find something that felt good, when all along, as you discovered, it was always inside of you. And it was about getting still and stopping. And that's the feminine.
Yeah.
And because in that other energy it's manic, it's frenetic, it's fight or flight, and it's
constantly busy, constantly doing things. Yeah.
It's lack, because we're reaching. And so, okay, that's really, really powerful to share that. And then when Louisa came back to me the third time, I can tell you, it was a pleasure to do that call with you. You'd gone and stepped into your power. And really what I did say to you was, I said, you do know how to connect with your heart. It's your heart. So I said, not about me giving you a workshop right now. It's not what these calls are for. It's about you trusting that if you can just get still and quiet enough for a second and give yourself permission to feel the truth, which is fucking uncomfortable, especially when we've been ignoring it for so long. I said, it's going to hit you like a freight train. And
it did.
Because it wasn't much like it didn't take you very long to get to book back in for that third call. You're like, right. And your energy had gone to a different level, and you came on and you were like, boom, 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 boom. This is what's going on. And Lucy, I need to do this. And it was powerful for me to go, okay, she's ready now. And you could feel that, right?
Yeah. I just felt like I'd been cracked open, and I was in pain, but I was just like, I felt like it was like the kind of thing you have to go through it's like the healing on the other side of it. It wasn't all bad. It was like, I can't explain it, but it's like I was in so much pain, but I was just like, this is what's going to heal me. This is what I had to do. You had to like smash the vase up to put it back together, basically.
Yes.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
But what you're speaking to is a woman who is ready to change, because otherwise we just turn a blind eye and say, let me just put Netflix on. I don't really feel like dealing with this right now. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
Or we have another drink, or we just complain about it. But the courage is what you found, Louisa, to actually look at it, eyeball it, and go, it ends now.
Yeah.
So really, really like amazing. I just want to acknowledge you for staying with it and for fighting for yourself. Because for me, when I see a woman that's that committed, who's going to fight for it, of course it's a no-brainer. I want you in that vortex. I want to be able to support you, because that's what it takes, you know. And I just think it's really important for you girls watching, you know, every testimonial is different, and Louisa's was a unique process, but you know, she wouldn't have got from soul to soul what she did if I'd invited her in too soon, because she would have just kind of gone through the process at arm's length versus like, boom, I want this. Yeah. So, okay, this is wonderful. So let's go back to your journey. Obviously, we don't talk about like the modules or anything like that, but what was that 8 weeks like for you? If you really feel into where you are now, like what was that journey actually like for you? Once you became ready, then what happened?
I think it was different at each point. At the beginning, I was feeling very vulnerable, and I had felt like my heart had cracked open, so I felt a lot of pain, but it was like it was coming out and I was dealing with it. But I made myself a promise at the beginning. I was just like, I don't care how much. It's not that I didn't like that. It's not that I didn't care about my feelings, but I was just like, if I have to break my heart open even more, I will, like, to get this sorted. So I just made that promise to myself. So I just sat through the pain and I just dug really deep and was digging deep. And then throughout the process, I think it was about halfway through that I started to feel really, really powerful, and just feeling like, wow, I can affect the world around me, and my mentality. Like I know that's drip fed it through the whole thing, but for some reason, like the middle really stuck out for me. I just felt really powerful and really, really awesome, and just really just like wow, like this is fun. Like that's what it felt like.
Turning point. That's the turning point, because the first, you know, up until halfway through, you're going really, really deep. So halfway through, it makes sense that you're like, hang on a minute, I can come up for air for a minute, and you're starting to see the shifts, because the first half is really just immersing yourself and going deeper and deeper and deeper. So it makes sense that by halfway through, you were like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to feel different. Because actually, I remember on our first couple of calls, I said to you, wipe the smile off your face. Like there was all that coping mechanisms, and that shows up a lot on calls with me. By the way, it's my mum in the background. If you're wondering. You know, and I've seen that smile there now, but you are in such a different energy, Louisa, in your essence. Like there's this gravitas that's there inside of you, versus this little girl energy of like wanting to just run away. And I remember I called you out on it. I was like, you're just laughing this off. And you were like, I'm not meaning to, I'm really sad.
Yeah, I was like, I can't help it. But yeah, like it's from a different place, definitely.
It is. So now for Louisa's journey, and this is actually just testament to the fact that with or without me, the process works. But I wasn't there for a lot of your journey, because I was getting ready to have a baby. Then I had a baby, and then there was healing involved obviously after that. So what was the journey like, having, you know, being held by me for a little bit, but also having someone else, like the actual process for you? Obviously I created that, but what was it like for you, Louisa, that experience?
Well, I mean, you still had your team, like everyone else who was supporting us, and which was brilliant. And I really do agree with what you say about how just it's like kind of like a sisterhood thing as well. We were all there to support each other, and we still do now. And we were just always celebrating each other. Like I can't wait to see my soul sisters graduating, and all the ones that already did graduate, and just you really just hold each other and really hold each other accountable, and are really invested in each other. Like we really love each other. So it's like, and everyone just learns from each other. Like one queen will say something and you're like, oh my God, I realized that. And it triggers something in you, even if it's something such a tenuous link. Like you're like, oh yeah, that made me realize something. So it really is, it was wonderful to have that. Yeah, just like the group, like the sisterhood support. That's what it felt like. It's like we still have it now.
Oh yeah, that's a huge part of the process, you know, is it's never a coincidence on who the universe pairs up. You know, it's like we always get what we need. So, and even I even say that to the fact that, you know, you had Rebecca, you know, on my team stepping in. It's like, well, you know, some of her energy, you know, it's always in such divine order. And I'd love for you to share with us now, Louisa, like what's become possible now that you've stepped into this beautiful queen energy, this higher self, right? It's not just about the soulmate, as you know. It's very little to do with the soulmate because he's just the cherry on top. It's very much about coming home, which was so meaningful for you with looking for all these homes, coming home to your heart and yourself. What has this unlocked for you?
The biggest thing really for me is that it's just allowed me to dream really big, because I mean, we talk about our dreams at the beginning, and
hold on, it's paused. Hello.
Oh no, it just cut out. Am I back now?
Yes, we talked about the dreams and then it cut out. It's your Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Just that, like the bigness of my dreams. I mean, before the issue I had was I just forgotten about all of my dreams and I just felt like none of them were possible. But now it's like, oh cool, okay, they're done now. What are the next ones? That's what's I'm really enjoying at the moment. It's just like, okay, cool. So that's done. So now how do I make my fortune? What do we do together, like with my soully, and how many more friends am I going to make, and like all of these different things. Like there's so many more possibilities, and it just feels like there are endless possibilities now. That's the biggest thing I'm celebrating, probably.
So what I'm really hearing in your energy is certainty around things working out for you, and that you are the generator. You're the one like that now got the power. Like, I want this, I'm going to go create it. That was what was missing when you came to me. And this is so much a part of the work, is that little girl who's constantly trying to sabotage our life and hijack our dreams and talk us out of our greatness. When you just shared that just then, what you're speaking to is the fact that you now can feel connected to the fact that you are powerful and you can create whatever the hell you want. That's exactly what just came through just then. Like, you own your life, you own your future, and you can have it.
Yeah, and actually one of the other biggest things was that my whole like theme about home is that I was in a situation where I've now just found my dream home, and it's like it's happened at the right time. Like, I had to like move things around a bit, sure, but it's just I just see it as an investment. It's just felt so good to make that decision, and I'm literally I've talked about this on like the groups before. Like, it just feels like it's like Hogwarts. It's like a palace. Like, it's so much. It's just so beautiful. Such a beautiful place, and I know I can just, when I went there, I could just see myself there, and I was just like, this is where I'm going to live, and this is amazing, and it's such a better standard, and it's just. One of my things was I need a home fit for a queen, and I found it within 8 weeks. So I'm just like, that was the thing, especially that my little girls needed to fix, and that's the thing I've given them so quickly. So this is just another thing that's just like, wow, like that happened so quickly, and it felt like it was easy as well. So this is just like a running thing for the rest of my life now. It's just like,
what you're speaking into are a couple of different things here. You ignited your feminine, the connection with your heart, right? So actually you felt you've now tapped into your own deservability, your own value. And as you mentioned before, which was perfect, was you've raised your standards. It's like, hang on a minute. Whereas you were leaving yourself at the door before. So when you came to me, it was in that victimhood and scarcity and lack. But now 8 weeks isn't a long time, but the work is very, very intensive. And so because you were so ready, you were then able to really let in the bigness of what's possible for you, going, yep, I can have that, I can have that. And that's exactly what's translating and actually sending right through the screen right now. Is seriously, you're just sitting there in such glorious energy of a woman who's so deserving of, yep, you want to go create a new home, go create it. You want to attract a new soulmate, as she said earlier, soully, in case you didn't hear, like, no,
soully.
Hashtag soully. You're now like, you're now feeling all these things they belong to you, whereas before you felt like an outsider.
Yeah.
That's what's shifted, and it's all around your deservability and self-worth. And when we are disconnected from what we deserve, we just keep ourselves, starving from love and starving from a promotion, because we hold ourselves back, because that's what we think that's all we deserve. That's what's shifted.
Yeah.
Pretty epic.
Deservability, love. Yeah.
How do you feel about Louisa now versus 8 weeks ago?
I definitely
don't hold back.
I just feel like so my word for 2020 is beauty, and I was surprised to find that, but I really do understand why it's that. And it's just, I've just seen the beauty in me, the beauty outside me. It takes so much more care of my appearance, and it just feels easier to do that, and just up-leveling that, and just I know I'm going to be surrounded by beautiful things and beautiful people, beautiful experiences, like just like beauty, the essence of beauty. I feel like I'm becoming like that beautiful essence, and that, yeah, it's like in every situation, it's all around me, it's inside me, it's like where I'll be living, like it's all of these things. That's how I'm feeling about me now. And just I give myself much more of a break now as well.
My eyes are totally watering. Like you are in magnetic energy right now. Every time I ask a question, first of all, you don't hesitate, which is that certainty and that conviction of like, this is what's happening, this is who I am. But my eyes are actually having a reaction because, Louisa, this is not where you were 8 weeks ago. And the fact that you're just sitting in your being and in your enoughness and in that divine feminine is just so inspiring, because for like what you're sending right now energetically is, I feel like your soulmate is like just hiding next to you, like he's there, because you are really taking up space just with your energy. If you didn't even say anything right now, it's still going to send. And that's really potent, that you're not hesitating. You're just like, yeah, it's beauty. And as you were saying those words, they weren't just words, they actually had a vibration of belief, of, again, that worthiness and that beauty, just the way you were sharing about that. You're not saying words just because I'm asking questions. You were like feeling those.
Yeah.
And that's what had me kind of get really touched, is it's just so magnetic. I'm like leaning in going, I want to be around this girl, this woman, not this girl. And it is beauty. It's beautiful to witness a woman sitting in her epicness, because there are plenty of people out there that they're stick figures, they're looking like the part, but they're doing all the work on the outside, getting like work done on their face, getting liposuction, all these things. Now, knock yourself out, do whatever makes you feel good, but does it really? It's a case of actually, it's an inside job. Beauty is an inside job.
It is, yeah.
And when we really love our heart and the shadows and the darkness, and we love on all of us and our imperfections, wow, beauty just flows through like it is with you right now. And your presence is palpable. Like I'm sort of like, hang on a minute, who's leading this talk today? I feel like I want to hand it over to you. I want you to interview me, because you're like sitting there in your regalness, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a really nice energy to be in, definitely. And it's a lot less, I've never felt less anxious as well, and just in the flow and just calm and just trusting myself, and also just giving myself a break as well. Just perfectly imperfect.
Yes.
And it's fine to be just the way I am. Yeah.
It's not fine, it's freaking epic, right? And we have an obligation to be who we are. Yeah, most of us are running from that because we're terrified of judgment. So how do you feel about 2020 and, the future and being in your skin now? How do you feel?
Oh, it's just so exciting. It's just kind of like all the plans I had, I'm just like, I have a bigger plan now. And it's also just, I just feel like I'm more resilient, because I mean, life will still happen. So I just feel like if there's any more, disappointments or like heartbreak or anything, I just feel like I'm so much more resilient. I feel like I can open up to it and just deal with it in the moment, and just whatever it is, and just let it go. Like I especially loved when we were just learning about anger, just like it's okay to feel your feelings, it's okay to feel anger, it's just how you deal with it that matters, and just how you release it is what's important. It's just really fully accepting just all of my feelings and just being able to deal with it. It's really powerful.
And that all ties into permission, because through our conditioning, whether it's dad telling us, hey, don't air your dirty laundry, just get on with it and be a good girl and blah, 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 blah. And so from a very young age, many of us are very much conditioned to just do the right thing, be a good girl, don't get in anyone's way, don't take up too much space. And really the essence of the work that I teach is obliterating all of that and breaking up with other people's rules and what they're putting on us, and creating your own foundation. And that what I'm hearing is you giving yourself permission to feel. And if we're not feeling connected to ourselves, there's no way in hell we can connect with someone else. There's no way we can experience that soulmate relationship with anyone else until we prioritize that with ourselves.
Yeah.
Because like attracts like, and that's the law of attraction. So what would you say, Louisa, to another soul sister that might be starting, the year going, well, I just hope this year is going to be better than the last. I'm not where I want to be. What would you say to her if she's in that space and she's considering, what, I need to do something about this, and maybe Soul to Soul's for me?
I mean, I would just say to her, you're allowed to have your dreams. You're allowed to have your dreams back. And if it hasn't happened, if like your dreams haven't happened now, you've obviously come to, like, I guess, your masterclass for a reason, and found out about you for a reason. Just follow your intuition, and you're allowed to have your dreams back. And you probably need support as well. I mean, even with you or with someone else, like, you need support. You just need someone to guide you. That's how I felt at the start. I was like, this woman is gonna, I don't know why, but I just feel like this woman's gonna help me with everything. And that, you can have your dreams back. You have a right to have your dreams. Beautiful.
Love that. Yeah, you have a right to have your dreams. And at the end of the day, you girls that are watching this have to know that you hold the trump card, right? There's support here if you want it. And I have a lot of women that come to me that have been burnt by other programs that they've invested in. So you can imagine when they come to me, they're like, well, how do I know this is going to work? But you have to know that I've also been burnt by other programs. And the thing is, you can't stop, and you can't give your power away to what hasn't worked. You got to go, I'm going to keep going until I find my jam. It's like relationships. I've had plenty of relationships that didn't work. And then I'm like, well, fuck that, because I'm here willing to step into the bigness of who I am, so I can have the relationship that not just works, that fucking thrives.
Yeah, I think the thing that's different about you is just, it's all about coming into your femininity, because that is the thing that, I mean, you said just now, like, it's so easy to just be caught up in just the doing and the masculine, just doing. No one, I don't really know of anywhere where you learn about just your femininity and just how powerful it is, and just, this is just the missing thing. Like, it's like your power and your femininity and how powerful that is on its own. That's what's the missing thing, I think.
And that's, I'm so glad you just shared that, because, for anyone that thinks, come in for 8 weeks and then you're going to have this soulmate on your doorstep in 8 weeks, this is not that program. That's just so one-dimensional, and it's actually not what you're looking for, by the way. For those of you watching this, you're not looking for your soulmate. You think you are. The woman that you're looking for is you. And it's amazing how we put it outside of us, which is so unpowerful, to go, when I have my soulmate, then I'll be complete. Then I'll be happy. Then I'll actually be accepted in the world. And I used to think that as well. I know what that feels like. I used to think, when I get my husband, when I have children, then I'll just be accepted. When I was numbing and drinking too much and feeling kind of a bit left behind, I really thought that was what I had to go and do to be accepted.
Yeah. Well, there's another thing as well.
Yeah.
There's another thing as well that I used to always kind of be like, oh, I wish I had a guy, because there's like certain situations when you're like, I wish that someone would stand up for me, or like stand up to this waiter, or talk to this guy on the street about something. And now it's just like, I would just do that. Now it's just like, I would just do that. So like, you don't need stuff like that from someone else. Like, it's just like, if I need to put shelves up, I'll do it. Well, I'll get someone to help me. Like, it's not something that's outside of me. It's all in me now, and it's just, I'm taking care of myself.
Yes, and it's I want to there's actually two thoughts to this, because what can happen is women get way too independent, so they're like, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do that. That's not being your own soulmate. That's being majorly independent and in the masculine of, I've got this. And when you're, I've got this, you're not allowing space for someone to come in and co-create with you. So there's that. And then there's definitely what you're speaking to, which is loving yourself into a soulmate relationship. So it's actually a very different energy of standing up for yourself when you need to, but it's also loving yourself, holding yourself, accountable.
And trusting yourself.
And trusting yourself and nourishing yourself and feeding yourself beautiful language and words and speaking to yourself with reverence. And so that was really what I wanted to share is, if you're out there just thinking that your soulmate's it, you're going to be looking for a really long time because it's outside of you. And as I do keep saying, he is really the cherry on top, and he will come into your life when you are in that beautiful relationship with yourself, and he'll come in a lot faster because you're not coming from lack, you're coming from abundance, where you don't need him, but you want him. Very different energy.
Yeah.
Because you've got you now, and no one can take that away from you.
Yeah. And I love that's what you it is like he would be the cherry on the top. It's more like this is my life, and I really love spending time with myself now, and it's like you're only going to let someone amazing in anyway, and it is just going to be like it's going to be the same relationship that you have with yourself anyway. So it's like it's just something that is adding to your life. It's not something you need, it's just something you want.
Totally. And for a lot of women that come to me, they are so in the independent energy. So they're like, I've got my own house and I've got this, and I'm totally able to stand on my own 2 feet. And like we, in our society, we've been taught to really pride ourselves in that. And it's great. It's great to be self-sufficient to a degree. But for me, on my journey, I was watching a lot of friends like making it their priority, like I've got to get the apartment, and they're doing this checklist. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. I want to get an apartment with my person. I want to create my life with this person. So then it comes back to, well, then who do I have to be able to get out of that independent energy that I was in, to actually allow someone to come in to share my life with? Because the reason we get into that independent energy is because we're terrified to open up to love, because we're terrified that it's not going to last, that there couldn't possibly be someone that's going to love all of us, right? So we just flip into that, well, I've got this, and and we're not leaving any room because we're terrified of rejection. And when you're in the feminine and you're in that queen energy, you're like, well, hang on, of course I would have a king. And of course I would let someone open the door for me, or, of course I would expect someone to want to hold space for me when I'm thriving, but also when the chips are down, because that's what real love is about. And that's that vulnerability, which is deeply in the feminine. But it's that enoughness that that's what's going to attract the king. And it's that lack of self-worth that attracts in the emotionally unavailable types.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for you, Louisa. You haven't been swearing like a trooper today, but you're hilarious, and I love your energy, and I'm so proud of you. Seriously, it's like such an honor for me in my role, because I love what I do so much, and I love seeing women shift. And when I see someone like you not taking no for an answer, coming back and saying, no, I'm ready, like that's just why I get up and do the work that I do for people like you that are willing to fight for it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for everything as well.
Oh, my pleasure. Well, go and celebrate the pants off yourself, and keep radiating that gorgeous energy. And I just knocked myself out of my, my air conditioner. And I'm just watching this space with you. So if people want to reach out to you, is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, darling. Well, hold on after this, because I'm going to chat to you. But thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience with us. Was there anything that nearly, I kind of feel like there wasn't in your case, but was there anything that nearly stopped you from really stepping up and doing this work?
Yeah, there was, I don't know why, but I had this fear that I was like leaving other people behind and now I feel like it's not that I don't care about them, but I'm just like, that's their thing. I'm not attached to like their outcome or my outcome. It's just like, okay, that's how it is. And now I'm not scared of leaving people behind. I just feel like I'm me now, and I'm just in my like boldness, and if anything, maybe I can inspire other people to like get help as well. Like
Yeah.
that was a weird one, I remember.
Weird. It's not weird at all, actually. It's women, you know, and particularly I will say a lot of Brits, because it's a reserved culture, right? It's like, don't stand, and this is like it's in Australian culture, it's everywhere, but there is a reserved energy definitely with a lot of my British clients, and as you'll know, right, it's like, don't stand out too much, don't, because it's like, you're better off being modest, right? Don't brag, don't take up too much space. It's very much, and it comes down from like royals, you know, the royals as well. It's like they're quite reserved people. So, well, they're very reserved people, but it's about you really smashing through that paradigm. And it's it's a really big thing, Louisa, and it's very common that the reason, because I had another beautiful British girl that said to me, and she didn't get through the first call with me either, and she came back and she fought for it because she was holding back. She said, I'm terrified to be happy. I'm terrified to thrive. And just like you, she's like, I'm terrified to stand out. So it's very common, but it's great that you didn't let that stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rocking. You're freaking rocking. I love you. And listen, the best is yet to come. So thanks for coming on, darling.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Again, hold after this. Okay.